Shalom, everyone. Shalom, shalom. Um, Thank you, everyone who was able to tune in to this stream tonight. Um, as you see from this banner that I put together, it's real nice. Basically breaks down what we're going to be talking about. As promised, I'm going to talk about the Israeli Black Panthers. I found out some things about them that it was some misunderstanding, right? From what I said last week. So if you heard what I said last week, I said some things last week, and then when I went to try to find the things that I was talking about to substantiate what it is that I was attempting to convey, had a hard time finding it. So I said, you know what, I gotta really do some more research in this, because I was going by some stuff that I read earlier, and now I see what happened. So I was real excited about this one. Had a lot of information. So, and hopefully we can. I wanted to really concise it and put it together, but time would not let me be able to do that this week. Had a lot of things going on this weekend, so time would not permit me to be able to do what I wanted to do. But nevertheless, I got a bunch of stuff, so we're going to try to work it out. I don't want to make this into no two parts and all of that stuff. I want to just deal with this in one part. So I got a couple of clips that I did want to show, so that we can get more into this phenomenon of the Israeli Black Panthers. So I found this nice clip, kind of breaks some things down. The Israeli Black Panthers was basically from the North African Jewish community, from the Mizrachi, and they seen what Fred Hampton and Huey P. Newton and others have done with the Black Panthers in America, and they've seen that they shared the same struggle. Now, what I'm going to do is play a video for you, where they're going to eventually interview this guy that was actually a member, and he's going to try to explain what made them decide to model themselves after the revolutionary Black Panther group that was here in America. So without further ado, I'm going to get into that and just go from there.
Welcome back. Let's go now to an exhibition in Jerusalem that is spotlighting a crucial moment in Israeli history. Of course, you've probably heard of the American Black Panther Party. That's an important part of African-American history in the late 1960s. But did you know that a group with the same name also existed in Israel? Not only that, but they came to define politics in the Jewish state for decades. Our culture correspondent, Maya Margit, has the story.
Welcome to Israel in the 1970s, a time of social upheaval, war, and major terror attacks, when economic inequality festered and civil rights movements were born. Enter the Israeli Black Panthers, a protest group modeled after the African-American group of the same name. Jewish immigrants from North Africa, or Mizrachis, banded together to bring attention to their dire social and economic situation.
We copied the name from the American Black Panthers. We began to hear what they were doing in the US and how African Americans were protesting against injustices. We became just like them. We, the Mizrachim, were just like the blacks in the US, and we saw the European Jews as being like the whites in the US.
Now, I tried to turn it up some so y'all can hear it, because I'm not sure if the sound was good. For some reason, this video was kind of low. All the rest of the video should be the regular sound, but hopefully you can make out what he was saying, right? And I'm going to try to rewind it back so we can see some of the imagery, right? Here we have the Mizrachi Jews from North Africa joining in or taking on the name of the Black Panthers from America because they seen a connection. They seen that the same white power structure, the same white supremacy that was dominating us over here in America was also dominating them in Israel. Now, these group of guys did this to build up support for their people, and because there was a lot of things going on with their people. And I'm gonna click play so he can talk more for himself. But you will see there's a lot of things going on, and they're gonna keep showing the connections between what happened over there and what was happening over here. Now, another clip that I was trying to get together for you guys that I was unable to get, but I might can find it. The young lady on there points out a lot of things. She makes it clear that it wasn't exactly the same as what was going on with us, but it did have some similarities. But from what this guy's saying, it's almost like he's saying that hey, we was with you. We seen what you was going through, and we recognize that it's exactly like what we're going through, and we see how you guys are fighting. So we want to be just like you guys and fight the same way, fight the same fight. And it seemed to be what's being said here in this report. So I'm going to go ahead and play some more of it.
Economic situation.
We copied the name from the American Black Panthers. We began to hear what they were doing in the US and how African Americans were protesting against injustices. We became just like them. We, the Mizrachim, were just like the blacks in the US, and we saw the European Jews as being like the whites in the US.
Photographer Yaakov Shofar spent years with the Israeli Black Panthers, conducting extensive interviews and shooting portraits of leading members.
Israel was going through a very difficult period in the 1970s. There were many terror attacks. There was the Yom.
Now I want to point out something too, because I heard the guy's Hebrew. He didn't say European Jews. He said the Ashkenazim, but we all know and understand that the Ashkenazim are the European Jews. All right, I just wanted to put that in there.
Kippur War, protests. The media depicted the Black Panthers always protesting and threatening the rule of law, but I wanted to show their human side.
After disappearing from public view for over 30 years, these startling pictures are now on display. It's all part of an exhibition at the Israel Museum in Jerusalem titled Born in Israel.
It was important for us to do this show because we hear a lot about the status of Mizrachi culture in the context of Israel or Israeli society today.
The show is just one reminder of how the Black Panthers movement, which began in a small Jerusalem neighborhood named Musrara, came to define an era in Israeli history.
All right, now he's about to get into the harsh living conditions that the Mizrachi faced, but I want you to really see how the Black Panther movement and an affinity towards what was happening to the West African Jews over here in America gave them the idea of how to fight, right? And what I wanted to point out, even in the midst of that, is we're going to see something, unfortunately, that takes place, and it happens in a lot of different situations. It takes place, and we're going to see something that's going to take place that shouldn't take place. But I'm going to go ahead and rewind it back a little bit.
Movement, which began in a small Jerusalem neighborhood named Musrara, came to define an era in Israeli history.
There were houses in Mizrachi where 10 people were living in the same room. The schools were not schools. Each classroom had 150 students or more. Sewage flowed in the middle of the streets. There was barely any water or electricity. There was nothing organized or fixed in that neighborhood.
Much like
Yeah, see? The same thing that was going on with us over here, where we was stricken to poverty in the ghettos and was forced to live in certain areas that was red zoned or red lined. Same situations where we had to deal with all kind of stuff and unemployment and all these different things that we fought for, right? And that the Black Panthers over here fought for. So it's really, really deep, like the things they saying. So I'm gonna rewind it back a little more.
Where 10 people were living in the same room. The schools were not schools. Each classroom had 150 students or more.
150 students or more. You know, that's almost equivalent to what was going on over here. Our classrooms was overpacked. Remember, the segregation of the schools and all those different things. So they was facing the same scenarios, and they realized the affinity to what we was going through over here. Just want to keep pointing that out because this is going to be some drastic things that you're going to see change. But this brother right here is going to stay true. No matter what else might happen, him and others that was like him are going to stay true. Because I got some stuff to show you.
Sewage flowed in the middle of the streets. There was barely any water or electricity. There was nothing organized or fixed in that neighborhood.
Much like the American Black Panthers, the Israeli group focused on poverty and ethnic tensions. They would protest against racial discrimination, often clashing with police and getting arrested on a regular basis.
In order to suppress them, the state turned the Israeli Black Panthers into criminals. They used the police to arrest them and put them in prison, and this is where the members of the group got their best education.
And this is the same thing that also happened with us over here, as far as with our Black Panther Party. How they was forced and had them looked at as criminals. We're gonna get to that. I want to show you some positive things that came out from the Black Panther Party over here. As we're going to hear some positive things will actually come out from these Black Panthers Party that was in Israel.
Came to distrust Israeli authorities completely.
The people depicted in Yaakov Shofar's photo descended into the world of drugs. Instead of being able to develop themselves, they were destroyed, and some of them turned into complete train wrecks.
After years of photographing the Black Panthers, Shofar abandoned his art career and disappeared off the cultural map.
After I took these pictures, I stopped doing photography altogether for many years because this project squeezed the life out of me. It was a tremendous mental effort.
As for Biton, he believes discrimination against Mizrachi Jews remains a major problem in Israel, one that a new and younger generation will have to remedy.
I want y'all to focus on that fist, right? This shows you the idea of where they came from, of what they were trying to emulate, what they were trying to be. Whenever you see the fist raised up like this, it always reminds me of the brothers in the Olympics and others, and it always is a sign of what we would consider the Black Power fist, right? But here we see them, still having a black fist, the Black Power fist, but it's showing them, right? And it's showing their struggle and how they took on the ideals of the Black Panther Social Party over here. I'm gonna keep saying that because I want it to be realized and known that they copied what was happening over here because they seen themselves in what was happening to us. Want to keep this clear because I keep saying because I'm going to show you some things. So I got to make this clear because you will see why I said some of the stuff I said last week, basically. And then I was like, wow. Because when you look at it, it's like, wow, you hear the depictions of it, you're like, wow, this is great. I had one thing from Unpacked where they actually bring this out as well. But I want you to see first and foremost, because Unpacked is going to tell it from their perspective, right? But I want you to see it first and foremost from someone who was actually one of the Israeli Black Panthers and heard from his mouth, where he said, we seen what was going over there with them and what was going on with us is one and the same. The same way they was dealing with the whites over there, we was dealing with the whites over here. And he really, really breaks that down and makes that clear. And I just want to make sure that we are seeing that, and we know that is something that's taking place. Let me see.
The State of Israel has a very important mission to show the world that we are a different nation with a unique purpose. We want to be a light unto the nations, so therefore we cannot be racist or discriminate and treat Ethiopians or Mizrachi Jews the way they are being treated.
All right, now, this was really deep when I found it. It was a lot of different clips and videos out here. You can look up more on the Israeli Black Panther Party if you want. I would say look into it because we're going to see how things slightly change eventually, right? So we see how it started. Now, unfortunately, while that was happening and while that was taking place, there was something else that was happening that was birthed here, where another, but this was an Ashkenazic Jew, right? He decided. Let me just get the date when he was born here in 1932, I believe. He decided when he seen the Black Panthers Party to create his own version of the Black Panthers Party. But he didn't call it the Black Panthers Party. Let's just get into this guy. Because now you're going to see how things begin to change, because this guy's going to bring an ideology birth in racism. That's why I wanted to make sure you knew he was born in 1930 something. Okay? Right in the heart of it. And this guy brought something over to Israel that I personally believe changed a lot of things. And it's this guy right here. Let me cut this little video, Paul. Y'all can't see it anyway. All right, so this guy right here, Rabbi Meir Khan, in Israel's far right explained. This guy right here thought about a lot of things that shouldn't have been taking place, right? This guy brought a lot of those things up to par and has been going with it ever since. This guy right here. It says, when the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu brokered a partnership between the extreme right-wing party Jewish Power, the extreme right-wing party Jewish Power. Now, remember the fist? Remember the fist? What everybody said, it meant black power, right? This guy. Oh, wait do you hear about this guy? Okay, wait do you hear about this guy, right? It says Khan, whose extremist cock party was outlawed in Israel several years after his assassination, so he got killed in 1990, he was assassinated, is the ideological father of Jewish Power. So this guy is the father of this movement called Jewish Power. By extending a welcoming hand to the party ahead of Israel's April elections, Netanyahu was accused of legitimizing Khan's deep legacy of racism, violence, and hatred. What do you mean legitimizing it, right? He began to legitimize this, where this now was seemed acceptable to the people. Hey, because we got the prime minister, right? Seemingly accepting this, is saying these guys are all right with this idea of Jewish power. With the fist up. Now, where did he get this from? It says, but understanding Khan and his ideas goes much deeper than just knowing that he has a link with Jewish power. All right. So quickly, a quick trip through his childhood. He was born Martin Baruch Khan in Flatbush, Brooklyn in 1932. We know what was going on with blacks and West African Jews here in 1932 in America. We know what's going on, right? This is when this guy was born. It says, and he grew up a member of a youth group affiliated with the revisionist Zionism, founded by Zev Japotsky in 1925. Right? So let's go back a little further though. New York City was a racial and ethnic powder keg. Let me see if I can make this bigger. Because I wanted to make sure we went through all the nice stuff and learn of the beauty of what the Mizrachi people were trying to accomplish. I wanted us really to learn the beauty of what the Mizrachi people originally, that Black Panther Party, the Israeli Black Panther Party originally was trying to do. Because this guy is going to do some stuff that's going to alter everything. Let's keep reading. Y'all should knew it was too nice and buttery at the beginning. Like, what's going on here? It's such a beautiful thing he's presenting to us. Yeah, it is. Now we gotta get to the deepness. All right, so New York City was a racial and ethnic powder keg in the late 1960s. We know this. In May that year, in the aftermath of a racially charged New York City teacher strike that set African American parents against a largely Jewish teachers union. Now, I want you to see what made him birth this idea of Jewish power and his version of Black Panther Party that he's about to create. What birthed this? Apparently, a teachers union that was largely made up of Ashkenazim went on strike in the African American community, and the parents was upset. So now you can say, okay, parents get upset now when teachers go on strike, right? What's the big deal? He's seen the racialness of it. Who do these black people think they are? They're anti-Semitic. How? By being upset because y'all protesting for whatever reason. I should look in to see why was they protesting, right? Because it probably was something racial even there that they was protesting about. Probably not wanting to teach the African American children or something to that degree. But I'm not even going to go down that rabbit hole, because I just want to keep sticking with him, because we want to see what birthed this idea, right? So out of this is what Khan decided, right? It says Khan and two pals. So this was him and two of his buddies. They decided to form the Jewish Defense League. They decided to form the Jewish Defense League because some parents was upset about a union striking. Not just any parents. This is the 1960s. Black parents. How dare you? So what happens? Him and two pals decide that they're going to form this group, the Jewish Defense League, or better known as the JDL. And it says they had ads. They ran an ad in the paper, right? It says the first ad for the JDL appeared in the Jewish press. And this was what they said. Anti-Semitic black racist. Wow. Wow. Remember this, because this is going to get deeper. Anti-Semitic black racists are battling for control of cities. The people was upset because the teachers were striking and not teaching their children. And it probably has something to do with them not wanting to teach the black children. And now they're being forced to teach them, and the people got upset. How do you get out of that they battling for control of cities? The article alone that ran in that paper was racist. But he's twisted it, saying that the people who was being affected was the racist. That's what this guy did. Let's go back up and look at him again. Let's look at him again. This guy right here. It says the advertisement claimed Khan's JDL would go on to fixate or suspend examples fixate or was going on to fixate on supposed examples of black anti-Semitism. Think about this. Don't this sound like some birth of America mess that happened back then when the Klan claimed we got to protect ourselves against these blacks, join the Klan? And this guy come and say, hey, we got to protect ourselves against these blacks, join the JDL? Plenty of Jewish groups battle anti-Semitism. What made the JDL so different? Khan wanted Jews to embrace Jewish power, a party that he went on to establish when he went to the land of Israel. Let's keep this in mind. What did he model it after? He modeled it after the Black Panthers. Now, you might say, come on, it says other groups, so forth, this, such and such, right? Let me see if it's a picture down here. What's that you see right there? Remember what this fist was? This fist, where we see this fist raised, what he gives the idea of, right? Black power, right? This is one of the main things that you've seen within the Black Panthers movement was this fist. Became symbolized. It became part of a symbol that said Black Panthers. But here they got it right here with JDL. Just wanted to make sure you see it. They got it right there with the JDL, right? Says, ironically, he was styling the JDL. Listen to what they saying. It's not me saying this. I know some of y'all might be mad, but this is you saying it. He didn't say he did it because of that. This is the Times of Israel, right? This is a Jewish publication. It's not me saying this. It's the Times of Israel saying this. I didn't write this. Miss Emily Burak wrote this, right? And look at when it was written. This was written in 2019, so it wasn't even that long ago that we talking about right here as far as this stuff that she's bringing out, right? And that was a long time ago. Things have changed. Oh, really? Wait till what they... I'm just warming up right now. I want to read this article because I'm trying to give you some background information. So when you see what happens, you got to be able to understand why it happened. So let me go a little further. So I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I do want to make sure that we get this understanding of this in the JDL. Look at what it says. Ironically, he was styling the JDL after the Black Panthers while using... Now look at this. So he's styling it after the Black Panthers, but this is the irony. But he's using racist sentiment, equating Black power groups to Nazis. He know it was not like no Nazis, but this was the rhetoric and stuff that was going on during that time. So he wasn't the only one that was doing it. Hoover was doing that as well. But yet, as you're doing it, you copying from the logo and everything, having slogans. Everything, right? Now, they try to take up a little bit for Khan and saying that he saw the black militants. Khan saw the threat to the Jews not only from black militants at home in New York, but in worldwide communism. And then it goes on to try to show how he fought against communism and all that stuff, right? So we see that, we say, okay, I hear you, right? But no, he really did not like black people or brown people. He tolerated them to a degree more than he would tolerate black people. He did not like black people at all. So let's go a little further. You think I'm faking? Let me show you what Khan did. Khan did a lot of things, right? And the one thing was that I want us to remember was Khan was a criminal. He was a criminal over here. Look at what it says. It says, okay, now Khan's in Israel. What does he do there? Ooh, what does he do there? Oh, he does some stuff there that's going to change everything, right? He gets there in 1975. This is right after the height of the Israeli Black Panthers and the different things that they was doing. And in the midst of that, here comes Khan. Watch how Khan works his magic. After arriving in Israel, he soon pivots to Israeli politics. So now he's in Israel. He like, you know what? I could be a politician there. With a brief one-year hiatus in American prisons, when he returns in 1975 and violates his parole. So he violated his parole and fled to Israel. Violated the parole. He's in Israel, right? He founds a political party called JDL Israel. But he remembers that people understand this group to be racist. So he quickly changes the name and renames it Kach. Remember that. Remember Kach, which is Hebrew for thus. He names it Kach, right? Oh, it gets deeper. He continues with what he's best. He's known for best. Anti-black racism. That's what he's known for. He hates black people. Any black people. It says, the first action he takes is related to the Black Hebrew Israelites cult. Notice they put cult on there because they don't want to recognize them. So they say cult, right? Okay. But at least they did say Black Hebrew Israelites, right? He takes action against them. Now, they came back to the land and answered a call. They're living in Dimona, minding their business. Here comes Khan. Here comes Khan. It says that JTA reported on Khan's speech about guarding Israel's honor against insults from the Black Hebrew community. Now, if y'all know anything about the Hebrew community in Dimona, y'all know that they were not throwing any insults at all towards anybody. These brothers and sisters followed the path that our ancestors took to get here and went backwards to walk back into the land. That's commitment. They didn't say a mumbling word. But this guy, because he's racist and he doesn't like them because they black anyway. And we're going to see soon he don't like the Beta Yisrael neither. Because they black. He don't like them neither. And we're going to see that as well. So let's not say, oh, that's because they're not really Jews. And that's why he act this way with them. Okay. So what you said, Beta Yisrael ain't really Jews? Because he acts the same way with them too. Or at least his party, the party does. And a sentiment that he built up in the land does. Where they don't differentiate and say, oh, they Israel, they not Israel. Look at what he says, right? He comes at them. Then he targets the brown community as well. He moves targeting the Israeli Arab community and the Palestinians. So this guy just comes there and just brings his white supremacy with him that he had over here. And these guys going to open up their arms to him wide and say, come on home. We know you fleeing. We know you broke parole. We know you over here illegal. Don't worry, we ain't going to send you back. Matter of fact, we're going to let you become political. In August 1972, Khan and the JDL distribute flyers in Hebron calling for the mayor to stand trial for his alleged part in the 1929 Hebron massacre. Look what it says. When does Khan run for office? In 1973. He got there. Look how fast he running for office. He first ran for office in 1973. Then when? Got sent back to America, committed some kind of crime, escaped, came back here breaking parole, and in 1977 and 1981 elections, the total drops to less than 5,000 votes. Bonus drum roll, please. In 1984, Koch receives 26,000 votes, or the 1.2%, enough to land Khan a seat in the Knesset. That's all he needed. So they didn't give up. They kept trying, right? And kept going around spreading the rhetoric so that they can achieve their goal. First, however, there's some drama. In June of 84, ahead of July elections, Israel's Central Election Committee votes to ban Koch from participating in election. In cities, Khan calls for deportation of Arab and Druze citizens in his characterization of Israel's Declaration of Independence as schizophrenic document. It is, as the JTA reports, the first time in Israel's history that a Jewish political faction was banned from an election. Khan leads an appeal to the Supreme Court, arguing that political faction can be barred only if it poses danger to the existence of Israel. Because the committee ruling political bias, the court rules that Koch can run. Look at this. Now, look at this picture, right? I want you to really, really see this picture because we're going to see these guys again. We're going to see these guys again. So I want you to really, really look at this picture. This is Michael Ben Ari. And this is some other cohorts that's with him. And look at what it's saying. It's my Yehud candidate Michael Ben Ari, followers of the late Rabbi Meir Khan, founder of the JDL and the outlawed Israeli political party, pray at Khan's grave in Jerusalem. So they there at his grave praying for him, right? Praying. Marking the 20th anniversary of his murder by an Arab gunman in New York. Now, let's get something straight. Now I want to show you something that's going to put some icing on the cake. And as I prepare to show you this, I just gotta say that this reminds me of should I show? I'm thinking, should I show what? I mean, everybody know different things about the Black Panther Party. Yeah, I really just want to just placate and get into this to show how it changed. So remember the Israeli Black Panther Party? They came up and they were saying, "Hey, we want to fight. We want to fight and stuff for the Mizrachi people, and bring about change in the community for the Mizrachi people, and so forth and so on." And that's what it was all about in a basis, and we was under the same thing. But then we see this guy Khan also takes from the Black Panther movement, but he reverses it and makes it into a Jewish racist group called the JDL, and goes into Israel sprouting his rhetoric. So let's see what happens. These guys filmed this video, and it's going to be very, very, very deep.
Since 2006, about 60,000 Africans have arrived in Israel on harrowing treks through the Sinai Desert.
Now, you see those Africans being attacked, right? Now, some people might say, well, they're Africans and they shouldn't be over there. Okay. We're going to see in a little bit they're going to do the same thing to Beta Yisrael. Also see how we already see how Khan came over and attacked the Hebrew Israelite community that was living peacefully in Dimona, minding their business. But this guy comes over and is upset. Whenever you see black people doing anything, he's upset. He was born in 1932, in the midst of the heart of racism. This right here, what we seen is as a result of him coming over there. This is a result of him coming over there.
Desert, fleeing poverty, persecution, ethnic cleansing, and genocide. As refugee camps across Africa fill up and Europe closes its gates to asylum seekers, Israel became the next best option, accessible by land and said to be a developed democracy. But instead of providing them with safe haven, Israel is both refusing to grant them any benefits and denying them the ability to work legally to support themselves. Faced with poverty and exploitation, a new nightmare unfolded.
Now, what I wanted to build you up for is look at this. These are not just Ashkenazim that's out here screaming and attacking these Africans. Michael Ari, or Michael or Mikael Ben Iri, or Michael Ben Iri, is Mizrachi. This other rabbi that we're going to see on here is Tanzanian. These are seemingly brown Jews that have linked up with these white Jews to do these horrific things that we about to see.
Exploitation, a new nightmare unfolded.
עדיין לא מאוחר, אפשר מחר לעשות מעשה, להתחיל לאסוף את המסתננים, לא צריך לחכות לבג"ץ, לא צריך שום דבר.
We don't need to wait for anything. Round them up tomorrow morning. Now, what are they talking about? They're calling the people that they're calling the people that's asylum seekers. The idea or the things that Khan brought over is now infected even the Mizrachi, right? I want you to see this. Matter of fact, let me show you something, because I want y'all to understand why when I seen this video and I was like, oh, the Black Panthers did this and other, the Israeli Black Panthers did this, that, other. And I know some people like, why you say the Israeli Black Panthers did this, that, other? And then I looked and I was trying to find the stuff, and it was like, hold on. It was like I just couldn't find the different things, right? Look at what this says. The Jewish Panther. Did Meir Khan's racist ideology emerge from American left? Look at this. The Jewish Panther. So the idea behind it is this is how they try to tie it in with the Israeli Panthers, right? But the Israeli Black Panthers was not, when they first started, was not on with what we about to see happening on these clips. I just wanted to bring this back to your attention now. Look at what this guy's going to say. Listen to him. She says, outside my house, I see and spit and psychopaths. Right? Crazy, right? Let's listen to her. Just waiting for the chance to murder me. You can see it in their eyes. Now, is any of this true? No. But this is the racist antics that's done been stirred up within the people. Now, we can see clearly again, remember the Israeli Black Panthers Party who brought about the change within their political system, then got the idea from the West African Jews or the blacks in America. They got the ideas for the blacks. Remember, they had signs that said Blacks Panther and so forth. So remember this idea, right? This guy right here is Mizrachi. It's sort of like what we do over here, where we know all the stuff we went through over here, but then you still turn around and hear some blacks talking crazy about Hispanics. And I'm sitting there scratching my head like, dude, you sound just like how they sound when they was talking about us. But now it's all right to talk about them like that? And they look at me like I'm the bad guy, I'm the wrong one. What are you talking about? They was just talking about us like that. Now we can turn around and talk about some other people like that? This is the same phenomenon we're going to see happening right here. Same phenomenon. These are the same people that was out in the street with the sign saying that they racist against us, they racist against us. And watch what they're going to do. She says, so I'm proud to be a racist. Listen to her. I'm proud to be a racist. It's our right to be racist. This has all been stirred up by this Jewish power movement and party that was made legitimized by Netanyahu. Right here, this is the results. Look at them.
While protests raged in the streets against the presence of asylum seekers from Africa, the man who held the power to determine their fate, Deputy Prime Minister Eli Yishai, demanded their expulsion.
Yeah, here this guy is right here. Look at him. He's Tanzania. He's from Think about this. Look, he says, if they grant me all the tools, and I'm trying to acquire all the tools, and it's not easy, but if they grant me all the tools without exception, in less than a year, not a single infiltrator will remain in the state of Israel. Now, again, these guys are not infiltrators. They're not people seeking to infiltrate the government and take over and any of this stuff. These are just people that's in war-torn countries seeking asylum. The same mess that happens over here when they come over here seeking asylum. But now it's a problem.
And the few isolated Israelis who dared to protest, like...
Now look at this. You can see clearly this guy is Mizrachi. And now he's going to be arguing with some other people who's being like myself and saying, hey, we can't do this to these people. These are human beings. What are you guys doing? Why are you guys acting this way? And watch the crazy stuff that's going to come out of their mouth.
This woman were met with harsh backlash.
You should be ashamed of yourself. May you be raped. Amen. What? What? You should be ashamed of yourself. May you be the R word, because I know sometimes they cut stuff off when you say the whole word. And they said, hey, man, is you serious right now? Who are you married to? Now, you're going to hear him say cushy. And you're going to see what I was trying to tell y'all on the other live when I was talking about that Haredi rabbi, which is a misnomer. When I was telling you about him, and he claimed that all black people came from Cush. So that was his way of being able to call black people Cushites or Cushy, right? And I said, it's really racist to even say that. And I said, because in the state of Israel, where they call you Cushy, which is what he was doing, they calling you the N-word. You're going to see it for yourself. You're going to hear him say Cushy, and you're going to read what it says under Cushy. You heard him? So you married to a Cushy. Yeah, I said it, Cushy. Hello.
Martin Kuchi לנסוע! את נשואה עם קוצ'י! לכי את והוא! תלכי מפה! תלכי! את נשואה עם קוצ'י! לכי! לא מתביישת!
At the anti-African rallies we documented, one figure was ubiquitous. A member of Knesset named Michael Ben Ari.
This is his movement. This is the Kach movement. This is what sparked all this.
מה זה גירוש? איזה גירוש? הם שווים הביתה. כל מדינה בעולם מתוקנת הייתה עושה את זה. נהפוך להיות מדינת הגירה, אבל יש כאלה שעוינים את המדינה. ולכן הם רוצים להפוך אותה למדינת אזרחי כל העולם. נביא לפה 1,000,000 אפריקאים, 500,000 פיליפינים, 2-3 מיליון סינים, ושלום על ישראל.
למה זה מאיים שיהיו פה 1,000,000 אפריקאים?
זה מאיים כי לא תהיה פה מדינה יהודית. המדינה שלנו, תקשיב, המדינה שלנו שונה ממדינות אחרות. המדינה שלנו היא מדינה יהודית ודמוקרטית. זה איזון מאוד מאוד לא פשוט, זה יכול להיות תרתי סתרי במקומות מסוימים. זאת אומרת, דברים סותרים זה במקומות מסוימים. במידה ותגיד פה בליון אפריקה, היא תחדל מלהיות יהודית. אנחנו נלחמים, לדוגמה, בתופעה של...
Now, what he's saying doesn't make any sense. Number one, if the country is a Jewish country or Jewish state, it can still stay that way regardless who's living there. You saying, oh, it's going to no longer be Jewish because these guys will come and change stuff. Hello, in Tel Aviv, you got homosexuals, LGBTQs, and all them running around. Is that Torah? No. But you got that. That's okay. But these guys, they're gonna be the problem.
בעולם ישנה התבוללות של 70-80% במקומות מסוימים בעולם. זאת אומרת, עם ישראל הולך לאיבוד. לי עם ישראל יקר.
Ben Ari is known for leading nationalist marches through Arab neighborhoods inside Israel, where he antagonizes, intimidates, and menaces Arab citizens. On the holiday of Chanukah, Ben Ari led a rally at Levinsky Park, a public space in South Tel Aviv that has become home to many Africans who were denied work permits and the ability to afford housing.
לכל הצבועים, אתם רוצים לעזור לאפריקאים, תיסעו לאפריקה. אתם רוצים לתת להם אוכל, לכו תיתנו להם שם. זאת המדינה היהודית היחידה שיש לנו.
Earlier in the year, at an anti-African rally in Tel Aviv that was attended by thousands, Ben Ari was joined by lawmakers from the governing Likud party and other mainstream politicians.
Think about this. This crazy, right? So we see how the cock movement drew all this together, where all these guys are together against these Africans. You're gonna see politicians, everything, just right there.
אריתריאה וסודאן זה לא כאן. כאן זה הבית שלנו, כאן זו המדינה שלנו. אבל הדבר החשוב ביותר זה לגרש את המסתננים לארץ ישראל ולשמור על מדינת ישראל כמדינה יהודית.
חברים, אני היום במליאה אמרתי, הסודנים הם סרטן בגוף שלנו.
Minutes after the rally, 1,000 Israelis rioted, attacking African homes and businesses and assaulting any African they found in the streets. Here is footage shot by one of the participants in the riot, a supporter of Michael Ben Ari.
Oh, look at that. They sitting there and run out and just start attacking black people in the street. Africans in the street, right? Just run out and start attacking them. Now, I know everybody say, okay, I hear you, but that's still Africans. They wouldn't do that if they was Jews. Okay, they wouldn't do that if they was Jews. Okay, it don't got nothing to do with color. It's because they was Africans. That's why they doing it. Okay, you should know I got some footage. Let me show you this footage, right? This was a rabbi. I was trying to wait till we got to this rabbi. We can see him. There's a lot of footage. I should have just went through this footage first, so I want y'all to really see this phenomenon of what was going on. But a lot of things it's changed, but I know the main thing you might say is okay. Let's look at this.
שוטר רוצח חייב להיות בפנים! שוטר, עלי, תוריד את המדים! למה? תפסיק לעשות את זה גועל נפש.
Solomon Teka, a 19-year-old Ethiopian Israeli, was shot and killed by a police officer last summer. In March, his family and supporters showed up at the officer's trial.
Now, these are Israelites. These are Black Jews. These are Ethiopian Jews. So you can't say, oh, these is regular Africans. These not regular Africans. Just wanted to point this out because I know some people probably watch and say, oh no, they did that because they was regular Africans. You know, some people always want to make an excuse. This is happening right here to these people. You might say, well, maybe that's an isolated incident. Okay, let's see.
The officer said the shooting was an accident after he fired at the ground. He faces a maximum of 3 years in prison.
החוק שלכם, אתם המצאתם את החוק, מאסר עולם. זה החוק של רצח. אז איך 3 שנים?
בואו נגיד את כל הקורבנות שלהם, נרצח עם כולם ביחד. נרצח על ידי שוטר! סלומון, סלומון! נרצח על ידי שוטר!
They yelling out the names of the Black people that was killed by Israeli police. It's the same thing that we go through over here. Same thing. So it didn't matter if it was the Africans or the Beta Yisrael, the treatment is the same. We even seen with the same Black, when he was talking about the treatment that he endured with his children trying to get him in school. So it's a lot going on. I just wanted to just shed some light on this because, you know, we got different people that that believe that if you just convert, you know, that would make everything better. You know, if you just become a convert, you know, that's all you gotta do is just become a convert, and then everything will be better. And if it ain't better for the people that they say don't need to convert, and matter of fact, they did say that they had to convert too. There's a lot of stuff going on with the racial tensions and stuff that I could talk about that for a minute, right? But I don't want to hop on things for so long. I like to just jump on things from here and there. Next week, I'm about to close up for now. I'm running out of time. I said I didn't want to be on here too long. I want to try to get this show down to an hour. So far, I'm 10 minutes after the time. Is actually 10:09. So I'm about 10 minutes after the time. But I want to keep it down to about an hour. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I know it was a lot of information. Might have been some things that you all knew. Might not have been some things that you all knew. If y'all ever have any ideas about anything that you might want me to do a show on, you can leave it in a comment on the event. I do read all the comments that's on the event. And even comments is within the different groups that the events are posted in. So if you don't say nothing directly on the event, but you say something within a group, I do read those things and do talk about those things. And in fact, it was one issue that was brought up when I posted the event last week that I wanted to touch on, but I'd already committed myself to trying to deal with this Israeli thing that I didn't really realize was going to turn into a big thing until I started looking into it. And seeing the fascination with it, how a group of people could start off one way and then end up a whole different dynamic. And as I say, we do the same thing here. So I can't even be like too surprised with it, right? Because we do the same thing here. When we say people are un-Americans, they're just outsiders. So even if they're black like us, right? Some people might still act a certain way with that, but if they not black like us and they are maybe Hispanic, and I've seen a lot of black people say crazy stuff out their mouth, and I'm like, yo, what are you talking about, right? And people like to build up the tensions between people because it's called divide and conquer, and that's one of the things that they didn't like about Fred Hampton, because he was able to draw people together. He drew white people together, Hispanic people together, all of them together under the guise of poverty and saying we all got to work together. And at the food programs going on when he was feeding the youth, because of him, we eat breakfast at school in the morning. And because of him, that's why your children eat breakfast in school and more, because of the Black Panthers. Because of the Black Panthers, that's where you get WIC from. Women, infant, and child. That came from the Black Panthers. Black Panthers did that. Right? Because of the Black Panthers, that's where you got free clinics within the community to help out people who couldn't afford to go to the hospital. The Black Panthers did all of that. Right? So they always want to paint this picture of them as these negative guys when these guys was doing really powerful and good stuff for the community, which is why they murdered them. So what I'm going to talk about next week, a young man jumped on one of my things and he began to talk about Christian missionaries. And I was kind of taken aback, and I was like, Christian missionaries? I'm like, well, I already did a video about Christians. I really want to go back. I guess I'm going to be going back and forth for different things. So I'm going to touch on this idea of Christian missionaries. And I guess delve a little deeper into myself, right? Because some people might want to know why you do what you do. What after all these years caused you to say, you know what, give me a microphone, give me a camera, and I'm gonna go live. This is all new to me. I don't know. I'm seeing like I'm getting a little better with it. I don't know. This is all new to me. Not really used to it, but I do really want to put together a good show for you guys. And next week, I'm going to deal with Christian missionaries. And do I some kind of way fall underneath of that description? Of course, those of y'all who know me already know the answer. And this is not even done for him. I know this gonna make him feel like he's somebody important, but I do this for my people, right? I do this for my people. I want my people to know what's going on. I want my people to understand. I want my people to be able to trust me. And when someone puts something out to try to make your people look like they can't trust you, then you gotta defend against that. Because I'm trying to reach and talk to my people because we got a lot of things that we try and do. So I'm going to touch on that next week. And like I said, if y'all got anything else y'all might want me to expound on one day, just let me know. Or something else pop up. Something always seem to pop up. I'll touch on that from there. All right, so thank all of y'all again for tuning in. Hopefully I didn't bore you too much with this show. I felt like it was pretty exciting myself, but sometimes the way I think and the way other people think is two different things. But I just want to bid you all shalom, Leila Tov, and I will talk to you next week.